The one thing that's kind of annoying me about this, that just made my heart like drop, and I think I broke a freaking nail, bitch. Hey guys. Oh my gosh, she's an excited one today. So today we are doing something that you guys kind of requested, recommended, told me that if my bitch ass didn't do, I was gonna get cut. So let me just do it. So today we're gonna compare the original Natural Eyes, the OG, the Mac Daddy himself, to the new one. She gets no nickname yet because she's new and she has to work to get those nicknames. Like, this baby's been around forever. You are the OG. You are the Daddy Mac Daddy, and you make me wanna jump. So I posted a picture on Instagram of swatches of both palettes, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, which you probably do, but Too Faced Natural Eyes, been around forever. People love this. It's a cult classic. Like, it's such a good little palette. You get mattes, you get metallics, you get a little bit of everything. So Too Faced came out with a new natural matte palette. They came out with a new Natural Eyes palette. They redid their bronzers. There's new lipsticks. If you guys want to see videos on anything else, let me know. But this is the new Natural Eyes palette. The packaging is gorgeous. Perfect packaging. I love the new look of Too Faced, like the Sweet Peach palette, or the, wait, what's it called? The Peachy Mattes, just Peachy Mattes. Love the way that they look. This one has that same feel to it. But we're not here to talk about the packaging. It's about what's inside. Oh, and excuse my hair. I just have a little bun in. My hair's a long story. I got some like balayage highlights. Hair went super brassy. I'm deciding if I want to go back to dark or if I want to attempt to lighten it more and have my hair get even drier and just fall out. This is the road that we're on. But it doesn't matter. I didn't feel like doing my hair today. It's back. Everybody will be okay. So this is what the new palette looks like. A very similar feel. Like, they didn't change up too much. The only thing that really changed is the name of this shade. In the original, it's Nudie. In the new one, it's Strip Poker. But all of the shades are pretty much the same, but the formula is very different, in my opinion. So what we did today, we used the OG on this side, and we used the new little Natural Eyes on this side. So we're gonna see which one is better. And I've obviously already filmed it because I'm wearing them now. I do have a very strong opinion on which one I think is better. I wasn't sure if I would. I thought, oh, maybe they'll be like so close and I'll love them both. And I do think they're both great palettes, but there's definitely one that I prefer. So if you guys would like to see me apply these shadows, kind of talk about the differences as we're applying them, do a super simple little eye look, you know what to do. So yeah, if you would like to see these two in action, just keep watching. So I have no other makeup on my face. Brows are looking, oh girl. But I'm gonna do my eyes, then I'll go off camera, do the rest of my face, and then we'll talk. So I'm going to be using the original Natural Eyes, this cute little tin, on this side. And then the new one, this beautiful packaging, I'm going to be using on this side. So first I'm just going to take a little bit of the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer and just put a little bit of that on my lid. And then I'm going to take my Smashbox Photo Finish Lid Primer in light, and I'm going to put that on my lid as well. And just blend that out with my finger. It'll all come together once I do the rest of my face. I know it's going to look a little silly at first, but we'll be able to see how the shadows compare. And if you're wondering what's on my nails, it's GELITTERDAZE Mom Jeans. I'll link it down below. And then I'm just going to set my lid with my Nars Crystal Powder, the loose one, with a Wayne Goss airbrush. we want to set down that primer so that the shadows don't kind of skip. We want it to not be tacky. The only one that's different is this shade right here. In the original palette, this one is called Nudie, and in the new palette, it's called Strip Poker. But that is the first shade that I'm going to go in with. So I'm taking this guy right here, and same shade from the new palette, and I'm going to run that through my crease with, you guessed it, an E40 from Sigma. My tried and true. I'm going to use two different E40s so that we don't blend shadows together. I will not be using the same brush on both sides. Even though it looks like the same brush, I have a lot of doubles. Okay, so starting with the original palette, dipping into Nudie, and we're going to run her through the crease. I love this shade. It's like not cool toned, but it's not warm. It's like a really nice, neutral, perfect transition shade. Oh wait, I got a little brush hair. Get out of here. But you can see how easily that goes on. You don't have to work at blending it out. It just kind of blends itself out. Perfect. And I will clean up the side then, so we can be a little bit messy since we don't have foundation on. Now going into Strip Poker. The new shadows definitely have more fallout. They're a little bit more powdery. And they do have more of like a creamy feel to them, but they are definitely more powdery. They're not as like hard pressed. I feel like the new mattes in the Natural Eyes palette have more of like a satin matte feel. They're not like a flat matte, which I do like. Color's very similar. I feel like the original might be a tad darker. As Jackie Aina would say, just a teensers. So next I'm going to take a little bit of Cashmere Bunny, and I'm also going to run this through the crease. And I'm going to be using a Haku Hodo J5523 and a MAC 217. They're very similar. Okay, going into the OG. I'm just going to focus this out here and kind of on the outer part of my lid. I'm kind of using the viewfinder as a mirror, which might not be the best idea, but that's what we're doing. So you can see how that just blends out so easily. You don't really have to work at it. Really, really easy to work with. As soon as I dip into it, do you see, wait, can I do this? Do you see how powdery? And let me just show you in the original palette, when I dip into Cashmere Bunny, watch. It's much harder pressed. You don't get all of that powder, which is not really a big deal to me. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. It's just a difference in the palette. Something interesting though, I just dipped pretty hard into this, and when I tap my brush off, the shadow's pretty much gone. Do you see that? There's just a little bit remaining. So the formula is definitely very different. All right, here we go. The shadow is working really well though. Like I don't have any complaints with blending or anything. It looks very uniform. It doesn't look patchy. Yeah. So even though the formula feels quite different, the shadows are both performing really well. I'm gonna take a little bit more, just right up in here so that we can kind of match what's happening on the other side. Okay, I'm not going to use any type of base on my lid. Like, I'm not going to use a glitter base or anything like that. We're just going in with the shadow. So we're going to use Silk Teddy from both palettes, which is my favorite shade in the palette. It's this gorgeous, like, metallic-y champagne gold. It's so pretty. I'm going to take it on my finger. So this is the original. And we're going to put this all over the lid. Look how beautiful that is. So pretty. And that was just one little tap in the palette. I don't even need to really go back in. Like, that took care of my whole lid. I will take a little bit more just to make it nice and vibrant. I love this original palette. She's hard to beat. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my index finger into the new palette. And you can kind of see the difference here. The new one does look a little bit more powdery. It's not quite as glossy. Let's see how she looks on the lid. Definitely a softer metallic. And I already dipped in twice. I mean, it's very pretty, but it's definitely not as vibrant. It's a softer and a little bit deeper of a gold. I don't know if that difference is picking up on camera, but in person you can definitely tell. We're gonna go into another shade that I love, which is Chocolate Martini. This guy right here, it is beautiful. So excited. So I'm going to use these two same brushes. Well, actually, here we go. These two, the MAC 217 and the Hakuhodo. So going into the original. Now this shade in the original palette is very pigmented and a little bit powdery. It's not quite as hard pressed as some of the other shades. Look at that. Oh, girl. Okay, we're going to focus this on the outer part of the lid. Just kind of gonna tap it, and then I'm gonna pull it up into the crease. It's a beautiful shade and it works really well, the original one anyway. Because you can really blend it out so it's not too dark, but you still get that like smoky, you know what I mean? It's such a pretty shade, such a good eyeshadow. Okay, I think that should be good considering it's like noon. We don't want to go too smoky. And then same thing in the new palette. Oh my goodness. Whoa, you guys, look at this. Look how powdery that is. I dipped in like one time. Oh my goodness. That is some powdery eyeshadow. I don't even want to tap this on my floor. It's gonna get all over my carpet. Wait, let me get a wipe. Oh my goodness, you guys. Look at this. That's just what came off from one tap into that powder. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of eyeshadow. Okay, wish me luck. Here we go. Yeah, she is not playing. Woo! You definitely have to be careful with this shadow in the new palette because things could get very smoky very, very fast. It doesn't seem to be blending quite as well as the original. And I have to be a lot more careful. Yeah, she's definitely a lot smokier. Ooh. I'm going to use Costa Riche from MAC for my liner. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera, do my foundation, fill my brows in, then we will finish up the eyes and do the lower lash line and all that jazz. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so I did my foundation, bronzer, blush, highlighter. So we'll do my lower lash line. One thing that I found interesting, besides the fact that my eyebrows are uneven, is, do you see how vibrant this lid is? The original palette, and look at this lid. The shadow's already wearing off. I just thought that was kind of telling. Yeah, Heaven is in both palettes. It's just a matte white shade. I would like to use something with a little bit of like a sheen to it, but I'll go over it with my highlighter. We're just going to use Heaven to see which formula works better. And I depend a lot on my brow bone highlight because I kind of use it to make the blending of the shadows look better. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like this, once you do your brow bone and kind of pull it down a little, it just makes everything blend so much better overall, or look blended. Anyway, so on the right side, I'm using a Morphe E18. Going into Heaven, and I'm just gonna put her right here. And I like to pull it down a little. And then I will take whatever brush I used in my crease. Why does it keep going out of focus? Probably because I'm so close. And I just kind of blend. See? Perfect. And then in the new palette, I'm going to use my Smith 256 brush. Ooh, 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 ooh. Very powdery. You guys, I think I prefer the original. The more that I'm getting like almost done, that's not even proper English. Yeah, the more that I'm using the shadows, the more that I'm thinking that I still prefer the original. Now, do I think the new one is bad? Not by any stretch of the imagination. It's a great palette, but if I had to choose, I'm pretty sure I would choose the original. She's hard to beat. I'm gonna go into Hot Sand with my Morphe M501 just because I need a little life on my brow bone. I can't do a matte brow bone. It just doesn't work. I just need a little something, something. All right, there we go. Okay, so I have two E36 brushes. They look different, but they're exactly the same. One is just like the newer version. So on my lower lash line, I'm going to take a little bit of Chocolate Martini on the outer part. So just like right in here. My under eyes are so freaking dry. I can't. I've been putting so much eye cream on and I just, oh, they're so dry. So a little bit of Chocolate Martini. Same thing on the other side with the new palette. Chocolate Martini is probably my least favorite shade. It is just so powdery. Okay, Chocolate Martini from the new palette. I mean, it blends nicely. All of the shadows blended nicely in the new palette. I just think I prefer the formula of the original. See how this one just like, I didn't have to work at it. I just like slapped it on and it looks blended. This one looks a little patchy. Now I'm grabbing two R43 brushes from Morphe. And I'm going to go into Silk Teddy, the shade that we have on our lid. Actually, no, I'm going to go into Honey Pot just to change it up. This one's a little bit of a deeper gold. And we're going to put her right here. Ooh, oh wow, that's pigmented, shoot. Oh, dang. It's really pigmented. Oh, that shade's a lot deeper than the original Honey Pot. She's a lot more like coppery gold. All right, I'm just gonna throw on some liquid lash extensions from Thrive Causemetics. Oh, we are close. I love this mascara. It's like all I use. As you've already heard, I definitely have a formed opinion. I do think that the original one is better. And it's not like by a landslide, like, oh my gosh, this new one is terrible. It's not. It's a great palette. I think it's really good. The shadows applied fine. They were not bad by any means. But the main thing that's making me prefer the original is how powdery these eyeshadows are. They're extremely powdery. Now, not so much the metallics, even though the metallics are powdery. The ones that are very powdery, in my opinion, are the mattes. I also think that Silk Teddy in the original is just so much better. It's so much more like glossy looking, and it lasts better on the eye. I mean, I had this on for like an hour, and the new palette already faded on my lid, whereas the original was still bright and vibrant and had not faded at all. So I'm kind of surprised that I like this one as much as I do in comparison to this one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really thought that it was kind of going to be a tie, but I think that I prefer the formula of the original. Now, I like a softer shadow. When it comes to mattes, I don't want it to be so pigmented that there's so much room for error. I feel like when mattes are a little less pigmented, they're just so much easier to work with. Now, that's my opinion. Somebody else might feel totally different and want their mattes to be like insanely pigmented. It's all about what you're looking for. But for me, I just feel like the original one is a little bit easier to work with because the shadows are a little bit harder pressed, so you don't get as much fallout. They're not as powdery, and I feel like with this, you kind of have to build up the mattes a little bit. Whereas with this one, they are so intense. So it's all about what you're looking for. But I honestly think if you get this one, you will not be disappointed. But if you already have the original, I don't think you need to go out and buy the new one unless you're buying it for the packaging. In that case, buy it, display it, and freaking love it. So that's pretty much going to do it for today. This was fun. I would do something like this again. This was actually kind of interesting to me. So yeah, I mean, I compared them. I prefer the original, but I don't think that the new palette is bad by any means. I don't want to portray that. I do think it's a great palette, but if I have to pick one, I'm picking the Daddy Mac. I'm picking the Daddy Mac, okay? So let me know what you guys think down below. Have you tried both? Are you getting the new one? Just let me know what you're feeling. I mean, you can let me know what color underwear you have on. I will listen. I am here for you to dump your thoughts onto, okay? That's what I do. Love you guys. Make sure you thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe, ding the bell. Ding the bell. Ding the bell. And yeah, that's going to do it. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.
So Tony put up my corner vanity, so we're kind of at a different angle. Angle? The angle of the dangle? Where's that from? Anyway, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Too cold. Come on. Both directions. What's that from? I like this little elf lipstick. It's really pretty. She's cute. This is the e.l.f. Beauty Shield Lip and Bare Buffer. She's cute. I like her. She contour. I approve. So, that's gonna do it. So, ready? Okay. We got the boo. What? We got the boo. Oh my god, I'm done. So many people are texting me. I just can't. Like, say you're Italian. Are you so, like, proud of your heritage? Because I am with being Greek. I don't know if everybody's that way or if it's just like a Greek thing. Greek people are very proud to be Greek, and they will tell you every chance they get how amazing Greeks are. I don't know, it's just what we do. We're loud, we're obnoxious, and we have tempers, And we love being Greek. And we love food. How did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. Yes! Oh, why do I look so little today? I'm like, girl. Sit up big and tall like Mama taught you. How many personalities do I have? No, listen, I got my Botox last week. My forehead is frozen. Like, she's not going anywhere, and I love it. Like, I'm living for the frozen forehead. Like, bitch, ice me down. Oh, look at this little girl. She looks like a little firecracker, like a firework. You know what I mean? Like an explosion. Little bunny looks like an explosion today. She's so full of fire, that little sex bomb. Sometimes I wonder about myself. Like, I say things and then I'm like, you're weird. But I love you. Topaz, I got your back, girl. I love the new packaging. It is gorgina. Makes my coochie tighten up. What? You're doing Kegels during a review? I am. Do you know what I mean, though? Like, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because if you're not, you might be at the wrong place. Maybe you should go to a channel that's super boring, like very monotone. You fall asleep 5 minutes in. We don't do that here. We have fun. And if you don't want to have fun, well, I can't help you.